Okay, let's just start talking about some useful string methods. I think these are pretty cool. It's cool to know more about them, and they'll be helpful as you work on your homeworks. First off, two uppercase and two lowercase. We've seen this with car. You can convert any string to uppercase or lowercase equivalents. The length method returns the length of the string, and the index method determines whether a specific character occurs in a string. So you say like index of the character A, and it'll tell you exactly where the first position of that character occurs. The first position of a string is 0, and the return value is -1 if the character does not exist in the string. Char@, requires an integer argument, and it just gives back the character that is at that position. So if I put like char@2 for the word dog, it's going to return O. Ends with tells me the character that the string ends with, and starts with tells me the character that the string starts with. I.e., you can pass in a string argument and says, does this string end with G? If it ends with G like dog, it's going to return true. If I put in fox, it's going to return false. So, all right, the next few methods are replace, which are pretty cool. You can replace all occurrences of a character within a string using replace. And the toString method is not part of the string class, but it is how we convert primitive data types to strings. So we can use string, integer, toString, sumInt. We can take an int and make it into a string by calling the wrapper class for that primitive data type and passing it as a toString. This is also the method we use to send back the information about an object that we create in our code. Now, concatenation is very simple using a plus sign. Now, of course, strings are reference type data, so they don't actually take pluses and minuses as in mathematical operators, but the plus sign acts as a concatenator, and the concatenator actually takes two strings like dog plus cat will be dog cat. Substring kind of does the opposite, allows you to extract a part of a string, taking in those two integer arguments, start position and end position, and the length of that extracted substring is, well, let me just tell you this, you can read that, but I'll tell you that basically if I pass in 0 to 5, it's going to send the index 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's going to give you 5 positions. It kind of works like a for loop with a less than operator. It's not inclusive of the end position that you give it. You must know that. Region matches ask if two regions within a string are equal. A substring is compared to the substring of the other. If the substring contains exactly the same character sequence, you get a true, otherwise you get a false. A second version uses a Boolean argument that ignores case when comparing characters. Let's step into some code and see some of these methods at work. Now, generally speaking, you're going to use all these methods yourself to figure out what to do within your programs, but let's see an example of someone that used these methods for something called business letter. So this is indeed business letter, and let's just kind of walk through the program. You can enter a customer's first and last name. It's going to find out where the break is between the first and last name, and it's going to use that to show something in a graphical user interface type dialog. So let's just compile this program. businessletter.java, and let's run the program. All right. Run it like that, and you're going to see it's going to ask me this question. What's the customer's first and last name? And I'm going to type in something crazy. All right, there you go. Type that in, and it's going to write this. I should have used an extended warranty just for fun, but you can see how it splits up the name based on the first space, and it does that based on this if name.char@. equals space. Now, you know that we could have done this with a for loop as well. So let's see what that looks like with the for loop. So we're gonna say here for x is less, so we're gonna say for x equals 0, x is less than name dot length, x are plus x, and let's take this off. And I'm just gonna run the same program again, and you guys should be able to see that it works the same way, because let's compile it first, and let's run it, and using that for loop is gonna work the same way, Chad, Whiteley, Magana, or something. All right, and then it does the same thing because we use the for loop instead of the while loop, but the loops are functionally the same. Actually, we had a larger problem because I added two iterators here, and I don't need that. But either way, it still works, and you guys can see how these methods can be drawn together to build a larger program.